Mitch, good. You're ready.
Well, I'm a bit late today. Apologies for getting started late. All hell broke loose this morning. But hopefully y'all can find me and pick up right here, because today is Tuesday. And it's actually the 5th week of the month, which is unplanned for in my schedule for those folks who follow me regularly, because the first Tuesday of every month is a webinar, a presentation. The second Tuesday is Q&A week, which is members only. The third week is another presentation. The fourth week is review day. And then the fifth week is undefined. So we are going to be undefined today. No, that's not right. We are going to talk about webinars. And why on God's green earth would I talk about webinars having to do with thank you page magic? Great question. Before we get into that, for those of you who were following along with me last week, last Tuesday was the beginning of colonoscopy prep. And you can see by the fact that I am here, I managed to get through that colonoscopy last week. And I am here, thankfully. It has been a very interesting week since then. Has it only been a week? Is that really right? Or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know. I'm so confused about time frames these days. The world is flying by so fast. My health is on the improve. I also want to let you know that many of you have asked me about the session that I was planning to do that we nicknamed the Magic List with my good friend Tim Berger. He has had a family emergency this week. I don't know when we're going to be able to reschedule that. That was supposed to be immediately following this hour, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. So what I did was I decided to schedule a webinar this week on Friday. Now, if you want to go to mitchwebinar.com, if you've got a keyboard in front of you, or if you use your smartphone and take your Photos app and scan that QR code, excuse me, you will find how to sign up for the webinar. And we're going to talk all about webinars today. I am going to hit refresh over here, and I apologize. So many different places, and that's not the one I needed to refresh. I think it's this one, because we got a comment just now, and somebody said, "Good day, Mitch," but I want to find out who that is, because in the group, it is not showing me who signs up or who comments in my Thank You Page Magic group. But that is Stephen Hogland. Hi, Stephen. So, if you go to that link, and welcome, Stephen, always glad to have you here. Again, the link is mitchwebinar.com. Notice I reserved my own domain name for that opt-in, which is possibly unique. Possibly you wouldn't do that if you were running your own webinar. But I've gone on a domain name binge in the last couple of months, and I bought several different domains. For example, if you go over to hearmitch.com, you can see the Bradley and Mitch podcasts. If you go to mitch.tools, you can find out about what tools I'm using and any affiliate links. If you go to contactmitch.com, you can actually connect with me. There is, of course, buyupviral.com, where you can grab UpViral, which I highly recommend, of course. There is this one, which I have a domain called Mitch Magic. But if you want to join my membership, which is what the offer is going to be on this Friday's webinar, I'm going to convince each one of you who shows up for the webinar to opt in to join me over there in Mitch Magic. So I have created this webinar that I'm going to present on Friday morning to help you understand what Thank You Page Magic is all about and why you should be implementing this framework into your business. And one of the ways, of course, that I'm going to show you, hi Linda, Linda is here. One of the ways I'm going to show you is that I'm implementing Thank You Page Magic frameworks, thoughts, strategies, techniques, whichever adverb, adjective you want to use in order to grow your business. My good friend Linda has been with me for years upon years upon years. Always glad to have Linda here. She is in my Movers Mastermind. For those of you who don't know, there is a mastermind for me. If you go to moversdo.com, you can find out more about that. But, and I'm just about possibly going to sneeze. So, why on this planet, don't you hate that when you're about to sneeze? Hey, look, it's L&M Global over on YouTube. Hi, L&M. Oh man, my tongue is not working today. I did not warm up my tongue like I usually do. L&M Global. Hi, good to have you with us over on YouTube. So, I'm going to give you a brief overview. I'm going to show you how to sneeze the Onger way. I'm going to show you an overview, a quickie overview of Thank You Page Magic, the concept behind Thank You Page Magic, and why you want to apply this to your webinar. If you run a webinar, let me know in the comments if you run webinars. I will not guarantee any kind of results, but when things align, you could get up to 100%, double, in effect, your opt-ins with your webinar on the front end. And I'm going to show you how to make that happen today. All right. Anybody have any questions? And webinars are a great way to do it. So I'm going to show you, excuse me, all kinds of things going on over here. I'm going to show you why you want to do this, and I'm going to show you the campaign itself, and we're going to see how things go. And let me know if you have any questions along the way, you are confused about anything. If I blow right past something, please let me know. All right, so we're going to go through a quick overview of the concept of Thank You Page Magic. So I'm going to jump over to some of my slides here. And most of you are used to the traditional opt-in, right? This is where everything starts. Now, it doesn't happen to be a webinar. This is Jeff Walker's lead magnet. Oh, when is the webinar? Linda wants to know, when is the webinar? Thank you, Linda. Great question. It is going to be, why did that comment not show up? Nice comment things. The webinar is going to be Friday morning at this same time slot. So wherever you are on the planet, I'm going to do it Friday morning, this time slot. And of course, there will be a recording. And I do encourage you to opt in, even if you can't be there live, so that I can send you the recording. All right, and it's free. Not going to cost you anything. Theoretically, it will cost you something on the back end because you're going to want to join the membership that I'm going to show you all about. And then, of course, I'm going to get you into the Tim webinar or Tim class whenever we get that set up. All right. So this is your traditional opt-in, right? That's where everything starts. And I'm going to show you, make that comment go away. I'm going to show you in some graphical form how the flow works. So what we're talking about is traffic coming into the front. We have our typical opt-in. In Jeff Walker's case, he has a thank you page. Imagine this is a webinar sign up thank you. It's not, obviously, but then this is the flow for that. So you're an opt-in. If you do go ahead and opt in, you become a lead, and then you end up on the thank you page. All right? Now, this is where the fun starts, right? The thank you page. Everybody knows a thank you page is where you say thank you, right? The obvious statement. Traditionally, the thank you page has not a whole lot on it. In Jeff Walker's case, he's actually giving a download. I recommend you put the download in an email so you go get people opening your emails. You want to train them. That's why you asked them to opt in, was so that down the road they will opt in, they will open your emails, right? Now, what we are going to do on our thank you page is we are going to gamify this. We are going to change the way the thank you page works by making an ask on the thank you page. And we're asking people to share. All right. So we're in the quick overview of thank you page magic. This is where the magic starts. We ask people to share. Now, on the webinar on Friday, I'm going to give you all of the tools that you need if you want to implement immediately after the webinar. You will be able to go into every one of your existing thank you pages, and you will be able to ask for that share. I'm going to give you some HTML code and some buttons that you can put on your thank you page, and you can ask people to share. Right now, let's see if I can get there really fast. I have so many different examples. Let's see, that's not where my examples are. Or is it? No, that's not where they are. See, I wasn't planning on talking about that, showing you an example. Let me go back to here. And I can show you. Where is it? It's on the next page. That's where it is. Here you go. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to share with you on Friday. Now, this is Amy Porterfield. Amy Porterfield has implemented the basics, the very simple basics of thank you page magic, although she didn't know she was doing it. Now you see, and I know this is really hard to see, but over on the left-hand side, right in the middle, there are some buttons, and they look like this. So on her thank you page, she says, hey, I'm doing this webinar or a challenge or whatever it is she's doing. Invite your people. Click the buttons below to share this group with your business besties and go through the 30-day challenge together. And there are some buttons. Now that is very simple to implement when you know the magic trick. And I'm going to give you the code to do all of those buttons on your thank you page right now at the end of the day on Friday to make that happen. So why would you want to do that? Let's go back to my funnel flow. And when we do the magic ask, as I call it, come on, there you go, the social sharing, what we then create is what we call the magic loop, or the referral loop, as Wilco from UpViral calls it, the viral loop. And I know these are small, they're a little small, but hopefully you can get the point. When you ask somebody to share and they refer other people, that's where you are growing your business. Now I'm going to jump way back here, and I'm going to do the logical thing here. I'm going to show you a couple of things. 94% of consumers trust recommendations from their friends above all other forms of advertising. They're more likely to buy from friends or family. There is a 26% increase in the lifetime value to you, the business owner, from referred customers. And get this, people are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend. Now, this one slide, in my opinion, should be shaking you to your bones. When I saw this, I was stunned. And this is from Nielsen. This is from several different places. Nielsen's the one where I grabbed this stat. People are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend. I paused because I want that to sink in. So you're spending all of your life, you're spending all of your time growing your business, and you're doing ads, you're doing Facebook ads or Google ads or this or that. And all of those people are coming through traditional methods. But once you learn how to do what I can teach you to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that, I'm going to give you the freaking HTML code to put on your website on Friday. I'm going to show you how to do all of that, and then find out that those people who come to you as a referral, and I do this because of that chart, and it's actually backwards, I guess, to you. Those people are 4 times more likely to buy from you than the people you bring in on the front end by any traditional method. So the question is, why are you not doing it this way? Now, how does this apply to a webinar? How do you make this happen in a webinar? I showed you the Jeff opt-in, right? Traditional lead magnet opt-in. I showed you Amy's thank you page where she has those sharing buttons on her thank you page for her challenge. I've also seen her do it on her lead magnet. She is implementing this everywhere because she understands this power. I haven't convinced her to come talk to me yet. Anybody knows Amy Porterfield directly, I need to talk to her. A, because they still haven't fixed their buttons. There's something wrong with their buttons, and I've emailed them multiple times, and they, for some reason, are not getting my emails. They probably end up in spam or something. However, did you see this one? Did this one, if you let this simmer in your brain, if you think about the fact that you have this huge pot of people sitting there in your existing funnels, that if they simply ask their friend, okay, so Betty Lou opts into Linda Lamont's, God, what's the name of your product? Stampin' It Up. Betty Lou opts in to Stamp It Up, right? And Betty Lou says, hey, neighbor, friend, Paula, I know you're interested in this stamping stuff. Come over here and see Linda. That young lady named Paula is 4 times more likely to buy from Linda than if Linda had approached Paula with a Facebook ad. 4 times more likely to buy simply because Betty Lou said, hey, Paula, you should look into this. I have goosebumps. You can't see them, but it still gets me. If this hasn't sunk into you yet, it will. Think about it. Write it down on a note. As Tiff Nicole in my Movers Mastermind, she's always writing stuff on envelopes. She's got envelopes all over the place. It's her method of sticky notes. 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend. Why do you think Amazon has that big section for our reviews and stuff? Those are referrals. Those are people saying, yes, you should buy this, or no, you shouldn't. Reviews are a way of having referrals. It's a confirmation. It makes people more likely to buy when somebody else says you should check this out. This is better than Facebook. All of a sudden my brain's gone. What's the word? Hi, Peter. Peter is here. See if I can get the comments. Why are the comments not working? I don't know why the fancy button. Hi, Peter. Welcome. Peter has recently joined. Bought lots of stuff for me. Thank you, Peter. Peter understands this. People are 4 times more likely to buy. It's not Facebook. The little thing where, God, why can I not come up with that word? It's not tracking. Facebook retargeting. There you go. Facebook retargeting. Referrals are better than Facebook retargeting. Excuse me. Facebook retargeting, I think people say it's 35% more likely to buy through Facebook retargeting. Referrals are 400% more likely to buy. This beats Facebook retargeting ads. And you don't have to spend any money on it, theoretically. All you got to do is ask. All right, so who can tell I get wound up by this stuff? All you got to do is ask. All right, so we are on the magic loop. Does everybody understand this concept? Opt-in goes to a thank you page. You ask them to thank you, to share, and then those people who come in are the referred traffic, and those people are 4 times more likely to buy. Stephen Hogland. Let's see if I can get this comment to work. That button is just flat out not working. I live in a condo. Neighbors are not friends. What's your definition of a friend? What is a difference or just acquaintances? Most of my Facebook friends are marketers. I don't trust any of them. Well, the hide button works. Great. The word friend is kind of loose here. Great question, by the way. The effectiveness of the referral differs. Okay, so if the relationship you have with people makes a difference in whether people are more likely to buy. It is not every person that comes in is 4 times more likely. Some are even going to be more than that. Some are going to be a lot less. But so let's break it down, right? Let me put this back up. Let's see. You see that I've put up here Facebook on the sharing on the icons, Facebook, Pinterest, email. Down in the, and then in the middle on the right is Facebook Messenger, very small. Someday, can I zoom in on that? I can make it go away. I can't make it any bigger. All right. Pardon me. And WhatsApp. Now, if you have a friend that you directly send that referral to, and friend, it could be an acquaintance, it could be, it doesn't have to be your best pal. Somebody you're familiar with. If you post it on Facebook as a social post, somebody is going to see potentially that Stephen posted it, shared it on Facebook. Is the influence there 4 times? I kind of doubt it, right? It's bigger than nothing, but it's probably not as big as 4. Right? It's not as big as if you share it directly with somebody. And if it repeats, maybe it sinks in more, right? If Paul sees you sharing this frequently, then Paul might go, well, wait a minute, Stephen's sharing this on a regular basis. Maybe I should look at this. Now, the other things that are in there, right, were email, Messenger, WhatsApp. Those are much more of a one-on-one kind of a conversation. Those tools, when they are used properly in this process, and let me go back. There's one other one that's on there that I keep forgetting I need to change my slides. If I come all the way over here and I go to the Amy thing, now that I remember where it is, come on. Put it up there. There it is. Notice that the very first 2 of these are one-on-one. Text, right? Hey, text this to your friend. The second one is email. So Amy has figured out that text and email are more powerful, and she's put them on the front. Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter are on the back end of that. So the idea here being, if you do a one-on-one conversation with somebody, that's where the 4 times really probably kicks in much better than if you're just doing a social share out to the population who may not know exactly who you are. So there are levels of that. And I don't remember in the study, but I suspect that that study that was done, if you went back and looked at it, it would say that they were talking about potentially one-on-one conversations. I don't know. I probably should go back and look at that. All right. Does that help, Stephen? And even if they are marketers, if you don't trust them, that's okay. If they sign up under your link, you don't care, right? That's really for me to be taking advantage of, not you. Stephen says, I assume this is Stephen. Yeah, it is Stephen. Emails work much better when personalized. It sounds like a one-on-one share template for all channels may not be optimal. Of course, you are absolutely correct. The one-on-one component is very much more likely to convert, which is why when I do things, I focus on that. I put those email buttons first. I haven't yet implemented texting. Stephen, I know you. That's your hot button, right? But anyway, yes, the idea here is the more personal the communication, the better it is in terms of conversions. Absolutely. Okay. Now, how does this fit into a webinar? No different than any other process that we're doing. A webinar is a 2-page funnel, right? Got an opt-in and you got a thank you page. But let me show you, let me bring up the right thing over here before let me cue it up, as they say in the record business. This probably is possibly a little small. This is something I used in a tool called Market Plan. So let's switch over to my desktop. All right, can you all see that? Okay. Are we doing all right there? Don't all talk at once. And I know this is kind of small. Let me just zoom into some sections. So you got traffic coming in on the front end on the left. You got your opt-in page. You got a thank you page. Some of you may offer an upsell. So if you're offering a webinar, you might go ahead and make an offer, like if you want recordings or something like that. So you could have an upsell page and a cart page or whatever. When you go through the webinar, you actually put people into your autoresponder and you send them a series of emails and say, hey, the webinar is coming up in a day. The webinar is coming up in an hour. Don't forget. You send them to the live webinar. On the webinar, you send them to an order page and they buy. Right? And then there's, of course, the replay page, which sends them to the order page and the confirmation page. Right? We all in the same spot here. Don't talk all at once. I know. All right. So, what does that same funnel look like if you use a tool like UpViral? And again, I'm going to make this bigger. Guess what? It doesn't look that different. With UpViral and any other tool you want to use, I like UpViral because UpViral happens to be very functional and has a lot of functionality that I really like. You have the opt-in page, which is the registration for the webinar. You have the thank you page. And then on the thank you page, the difference is you're doing the social share, which I don't have a little icon thing out here, but it's basically, think of it as this. And you're asking those people to refer others, right? If you do wording like, hey, Betty Lou, I know you just signed up. Thank you so much for signing up. I bet you know one other person that would be interested in my Stamp It Up stuff. Please send it to them. Now, in the traditional way that Amy Porterfield, for example, is doing, and what I'm talking about, that page that had the 5 red buttons on it, you can implement that right now today with some simple HTML, and you can effectively start this process. Now, when I go into a whole lot more detail, and I'll go through this again on the webinar, but you get the idea of what's going on here. Once they're on your emails, then you can send them emails through UpViral. And what the main idea here is that the bump is that you say, hey, Betty Lou, I asked you to refer people. If you're using the traditional tools like Amy's doing, you're not doing any tracking, right? The people that go through the process, you don't have any idea whether Betty Lou invited anybody or not. If you use a tool like UpViral, then the UpViral tool is going to keep track of how many people that Betty referred, whether they opted in, and they're start giving points. They're going to do all this other stuff. And then what it's going to do is it's going to offer an incentive for getting X number of referrals. That makes sense? You guys with me still? Hello? Anybody out there? So this is very powerful stuff, right? I told you that those referrals are worth potentially 4 times 400% increased chance that they're going to buy from you, as opposed to you just sending out emails or spending money on Facebook ads to get those people to show up and to opt in, right? And so why wouldn't you be doing this? Linda says, I'm here, but things are freezing up frequently. Well, Linda, that's what happens when you live in the northern part of Canada. Just kidding. All right. Everybody with me so far? Anybody have any questions? Now, if you go over to that opt-in that I gave you before, mitchwebinar.com. I actually didn't test this before on here. Because actually I changed the UpViral campaign that it goes to. See, dang it. Oh, phooey. I blew that one, didn't I? I gotta fix that because right now it's broken. So let me give you a different link. Oh, phooey, I'm not logged in there either. I told you I was a little bit late to the party. I'm gonna do this TM. I'm gonna do this thing really fast. Sorry. I don't even know if I can do that. Where did it send me? How embarrassing. See, it sent me to there. Why did it send me to there? Oh, well. I'm sorry. All right. This is how live streaming works. I got to log into the chat because I didn't do that properly. Is there another motorcycle thing? I guess that's a motorcycle. I'm going through what you call it? A CAPTCHA. All right. So now if you go to, here's a link that should work. And it was in the link was in the comment or in the description. Anyway, so you should have a chat. I see it in the chat there. You should have a chat. You should have a link in the chat. And that link will take you over to where I want it to go. So I'm going to come back to my desktop. I'm going to go to my incognito window. All right. So if you, this is my incognito window, and I'm going to paste in that link that I just shared with you. And so here is my opt-in page for the webinar. Register for the webinar September 2nd, 2 a.m. It almost looks like 2 a.m. September 2nd at 10 a.m. That font's a little bit over the top, maybe. So I'm going to put in my name, and I'm going to put in my email address. And I want you to notice something, by the way, that you may not know about. Did you see that little circle that appeared, and there's a checkbox here? I have a tool that I have implemented. Let me blow that up a bit. Called debounce. And I have some training to show you how to use debounce when it applies to UpViral. But this is validating the email address before it ever gets to me in UpViral, which is something I wish UpViral did natively. But it doesn't. So I have implemented this, and it's a tool. Let's see. Linda says verified. It is verified as a valid email address according to debounce. Now, what they do is they verify it. That it's not marked as spam. I shouldn't say that. That it's not black marked. That the domain exists, and they run through several different checks to make sure that the email works. Right? If the email has been marked across the planet as bouncing or invalid, then it will return a message, a red X here, and it will help you get good, valid stuff. So if I put in Linda at spammer.com, and I hit tab to move out of there, you'll see that I get an X. So it looks like a valid email, has the right format, but it's marked as not valid. So is it 100% guaranteed? No, but it's better than nothing. And I am paying, I don't know, 0.001 cents per validation. There is a charge to use the tool, but it is worth it to me so that I don't get a bunch of junk in there. And as Linda just said in the comments, let's see if I can get that to pull up. It doesn't confirm it belongs to the name attached. It's just a valid email. That's correct. It's one step better than nothing. All right. And I cannot click the button. It disables the button until I put in a valid one. So if I put my Thank You Page Magic email address back in there, notice it says it's valid, and I can click Save My Seat. And yes, Linda, you have access to that through the Movers Mastermind. If you want access, let me know. You made the perfect choice. So this is the thank you page. This is my thank you page. I am confirming that people made the right choice. You saw some confetti pop through there if you were watching. That confetti is also available as a free thing from me. I can't wait to share a bit of the magic with you on the webinar. P.S. I just sent you a surprise in your inbox. Notice I've highlighted this in yellow. I want people to make sure they read that so that they go over to their inbox. That's where I've asked them to find me, is in the inbox. So everything I do is going to their inbox. And then I say, important, read below. You're just 2 referrals away from getting an exclusive thank you page review, absolutely free. Now, the debate, of course, if we spent any time talking about this, and we're not going to right now, is this the right incentive, right? I showed you before that if people referred X number of people, then I was going to give them a special bonus. Don't know whether this is the right bonus. I'm testing this out for this particular campaign, but I'm going to show people how to do a campaign or a thank you page ask. I'm going to give them the tools how to do the ask. And so the bonus is, if you refer 2 people, I'm going to review your thank you page to let you know what I think you can improve. Thought that was a good idea. I don't think so far, and it's just been a small number of people who've registered because I haven't really sent it out to anybody in yet my list, but I'm not getting any referrals yet. And so maybe I should change that, but we'll see. It's called testing. So why share? Why should you do that? Notice I'm suggesting to the person who is opting in that it is going to help them. I want them to feel the warm and fuzzy feeling of helping somebody else. It's not just about them. Obviously, I hope they're going to learn something on the webinar, but why not share it with other people? If you do this, you're going to help your friends, you're going to help yourself, and you're going to help me implicitly, and we're going to change the world one person at a time. I put this on here because I believe it changes people's perceptions of the sharing. Getting people to share is one of the most difficult things. And notice what I have done is I have split these buttons up. And I just noticed that I added this in a test the other day and I forgot to take it off. A custom action with no question. I've split these up to say, hey, these one-on-one conversations work really well. Email, Messenger, WhatsApp. Social sharing, which I identified to you guys before, they work, and there's all kinds of stuff behind that. But this is what I'm doing in my webinar. I am encouraging people to opt in by dangling an offer in front of them so that they will invite their friends, hopefully invite their friends, or invite people they don't know, right? I don't care whether they're friends or not. But the idea is, thank you, Page Magic. We're encouraging people to share with people that they feel significant and would be interested in the offer. We tell them why that's going to help them and it's going to help us. And we give them the tools to do that sharing. So that's what I'm going to share with you again on Friday. You've already got a pretty good preview of it. But I've applied it to the webinar opt-in myself. I'm not just going to do a webinar and I'm just going to throw it out there without using the tools that I'm teaching you to use. So this is an example of the magic. Is it going to be perfect? Is it going to get me double the opt-ins? I don't know. Obviously, we have to test. There's a lot of things you have to learn. In the Up Viral group this morning, for example, somebody talking about running a giveaway for his photography business. And his first and only prize is £800, which is, I don't know, $900 in the US, $950 or something. A very expensive prize, and it's his very first campaign. And I advised him to back it off. Why are you taking such a risk with a big prize? You don't even know how to use the tool yet. So anyway, it's all about testing. It's all about seeing what works and what doesn't work. It's about knowing your avatar, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so if you are interested, please sign up for the webinar. Not only will you learn some new stuff on the webinar, but you're going to see it live. You're going to experience it as you opt in. You're going to see how the emails work. You're going to see all the insides. And I'm going to give you some special bonuses on the webinar. But I hope you can come. And if you can't, opt in so that you can see the replay. Because I do know if you implement these tools, you will increase your business. And you will be finding people that are targeted for what you want to offer them because of the way you structure everything and because you're asking others to share and you're going to get that potential 4x desire to buy something from you from those people. Those people are so much more valuable than everybody else on the planet because of the referral. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And look at that, I did it in less than an hour. Yay me! Does anybody have any questions? Now that I've put the proper link out there, I'm going to go over to the Up Viral campaign. Currently, there are 11 people signed up. You guys have been hitting the webpage, and I was getting a 40% conversion. I'm down to 27. So put your name in there. Great question. Here comes a Stephen question. Does it make sense to recommend a webinar before someone else sees it? It might work better at the end with a link to that share page. Great question, Stephen. I assume that was Stephen. Yeah.
You should all meet him officially.
Dang it. The video started playing over there on that other computer. Is the referral more likely to sign up? Is the referral more likely to be interested? Does it make sense to recommend this webinar to somebody even though you haven't seen it? Sure, absolutely. Is it going to be as good as a contest? Probably not. Because a person that's joining a contest doesn't really have to think about it so much. Linda said, I tried to load the website, but the QR code, it's because I messed up. I forgot to change the link. It's my fault. That's what happens when you try things and you... Because I had Mitch webinar pointing to a different Up Viral campaign earlier, and I forgot to change that link before the show today. So I'll flip it right after the show. But back to Stephen's question. Does it make more sense? Absolutely. If you had an evergreen webinar, absolutely, it would be great to ask people after the webinar to share it to get some additional incentives, for example. You can still use Up Viral to track those people. Absolutely. I mean, you're absolutely dead on. It might make more sense later in the process. But what we're talking about here is a webinar. Your opt-in page theoretically, Stephen, will convince anybody that's interested in the topic to opt in. If Betty Lou tells Paula, hey, Paula, I know that you're interested in XYZ, whatever Stephen is offering at the time. Come over and look at this. Paula's still going to be more likely to opt in because Betty Lou recommended it. It's better, Stephen, than any other process you got on the planet that I'm aware of. There are people that are trying to sell you all kinds of things to make your opt-ins better. But statistics show that this methodology is more powerful than all of them if you can get people to do the ask. That's the hard part. That's where the magic comes in. Does that make sense? You with me? All right. Anything else? Anybody have any questions? Yes, the URL should be mitchwebinar.com. That should work. It will work as soon as I turn this off. I will make that work. If you want to join the new membership that I have, join over there. If you're not on my newsletter, and you should be, go to joinmitch.com. That should work. Hey, that's a great idea, Stephen. That's an absolutely great idea. I think the Let's Watch Together, like a watch party, would be a better hook line. Hey, I'm stealing that. Hadn't thought about that. That's a great idea. I mean, they've implemented that in Netflix and Amazon and Prime Video and everywhere else, haven't they? See? Even I can learn stuff. Thank you for that, Stephen. Thank you for that. I'm going to do a screen grab right there. Especially, Stephen, if the hook line is hey, let's watch together, and Betty gets a bonus for everybody that she invites. Or if she invites 2, she gets something, or XYZ, whatever the incentives are. Now it's definitely, because you don't get that on Netflix, right? You don't get that bonus on Netflix where you can get an extra episode of Game of Thrones if you throw a watch party and you get your friends to come. But that's a great idea. I appreciate that. All right. Anybody else? Anybody have any other questions? So tomorrow, just so you know, tomorrow is... God, that thing is so hit and miss. Tomorrow is the podcast with Bradley and I, the same time. The webinar, if you're watching this later, that link will work. mitchwebinar.com. That will be Friday morning at this same time. And then next week, next Tuesday, I will be doing another presentation. And we will have a lot more members in the Mitch Magic membership at that point. And we will be rocking. All right. Anything else? Anybody got anything else before we opt out? I just thought of that. We're not opting out. We are signing out. We are having fun together. I do appreciate you being here. I would love for you to invite somebody else. If you are on the newsletter, have you noticed the bottom of the newsletter when it comes to you? The emails that come to you. There's incentive in the bottom of the email. I've implemented a process that nobody else on the planet is doing. Okay, very few people. Some people are doing it because that's where I stole it. James Clear does it on his newsletters. At the bottom of every email that comes to you, I'm incentivizing you to find out how to do the newsletter the way I'm doing it, with this chunk at the bottom that invites you to invite other people's and tells you how many people you've invited in order to try to get to an incentive. That training is available right now. If you want to just go buy it, it's $197. But you can get that training for free, but you got to look at the bottom of your emails. It's a very powerful strategy. James Clear used that strategy to get over 1 million people in his list. You can do it too. I know I can show you how to use UpViral to do that. And if you're not doing it, you're missing out on a golden opportunity to grow your list. Nobody else is teaching you how to grow your list through your freaking existing newsletter. I have a book that's sitting here on my desk. It's called, let's see if I can get it where it's not. It's, there you go. Do/open How a Simple Email Newsletter Transforms Your Business by David Hyatt. This was sent to me by, excuse me, my nose. Tobin Slavin. Tobin sent me this. But this book talks about how your newsletter can transform your business, how important your newsletter is for your business. I have it right here on my desk because it's critical thinking. Imagine if you boost your newsletter by asking people to share it. Your newsletter is a lead generation tool and you don't know it. You're missing out. All these things that I have that you're missing out on and you're not implementing. And yes, I know it maybe feels like a shiny object syndrome. But if you can get referrals that are 26% more, that are going to spend 26% more money with you over their lifetime, and you can get referrals that are 4 times more likely to buy in the first place, why are you messing with anything else? Why are you not focusing on your email list and growing your email list to the moon? All right. Nobody's popped in with any questions. I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate you being here so much. I will see you tomorrow with Bradley. I will see you Friday on the webinar. And thanks for tuning in. And tell somebody, please, about the show. Thank you. We'll catch you soon.
Hey, Mitch, good to hear from you.
It's a perfect ending. I am grateful. Grateful to get away.
Good day.
I'll be back.